Back at the Women's Professional Gymnastics Championship, the field is narrowed to 6. As the gymnasts get set for the semifinal beam-off, let's check in with Michelle Tafoya.
With 2 of the final 6 competitors, Dominique Dawes, the slate is clean now, so the beam becomes very important. Your ankle's been bothering you just a little bit. How do you expect that to affect you on beam?
Well, I want to go warm up and see how it's going to feel and just go out and try the best job that I can.
The beam was the thing that got you a little bit last week in Portland. It was the one thing that knocked you out of competition. Is that playing on your mind at all?
Well, no, I definitely put that behind me. That was a mistake that I just want to put behind me, and I want to think of what I want to do today.
Good luck to you. Turning now to Shannon Miller. Again, the slate is clean. You were last week's champion. This week's scores have not gone quite as well for you, but like I said, the slate is clean. What do you have planned for the beam?
Right now, I'm just going to warm up and do the very best routine I can and hopefully hit it and then move on to the floor exercise.
When you move onto the floor, tell us a little bit, if you move onto the floor, what we can expect.
Well, hopefully it'll be a lot more fun routine. It'll be a performance routine, and hopefully the audience will get into it.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Michelle. Last week in Portland, Peter had a chance to sit down and chat with the legendary Bela Karolyi. Said he was kind of retired. Here's more of that conversation now, including talk of Bela's former proteges.
Bela, you've coached some of the biggest names in women's gymnastics: Nadia Comaneci, Mary Lou Retton, Kim Zmeskal, recently Dominique Moceanu, Kerry Strug. Do you have the formula for success in women's gymnastics?
It's a pretty complicated process. There's a lot of ingredients into it. The one needs to come somehow from the personality of the coach, somehow the circumstances, somehow the historical moment, and also it's a big weight on the success is the natural talent of the athlete, the one they are working with.
Let's talk about your gymnasts. If you could name certain qualities of certain athletes, who would you say is the hardest working gymnast you've ever coached? Hardest working?
Hardest working is Nadia, with the hardest working person. Of course, that was the time when I was younger, and probably I implemented this hard-working atmosphere even more than ever in my life because I wanted to tear down the mountain. And the kids responded very nicely, and she was one of them, the one who 100% responded. She was the hardest working person.
Now, does the hardest working person mean they're also the easiest to work with? Who was the easiest to work with in the gym?
Easy, I won't be able to say, but the most pleasant one who I ever worked was Mary Lou. No doubt about that. I'm still calling her the sunshine of my coaching career because of her open personality. This is joking way of she was always taking the things in the natural, open way. You know, so open mouth and open heart always delighted, and it was lighted up the gym. And no matter how a dilettante, recreational type of activity where the people can come, have a little fun, go around. No, we are talking about probably the most strenuous and the toughest effort that a human being can produce in order to prove, yes, I'm the best among the best. And that was the goal, to be best among the best in the United States of America. So the American kids had to understand, and they had to understand, without hard work and dedication, this will never be achieved. Criticism came, I took it, but I will never agree with those ones who said, by the easy and the pleasant way, you can achieve something which is outstanding.
Hard work and determination, that pretty much describes the typical Bela Karolyi gymnast. We'll be back with the semifinal beam-off after this message and a word from your local station. This final day at the Women's Professional Gymnastics Championship began with Svetlana Boganskaya looking solid again on vault. Amy Chow was near perfect with a 9.95. On the uneven bars, Shannon Miller was right on track, keeping pace with the leaders. And Elena Piscun found perfection and was rewarded with a 10. Welcome back to Rochester, Minnesota and the Women's Professional Gymnastics Championship. Andrea Joyce along with Peter Vidmar and Wendy Hilliard. Wendy, we're down to 6 competitors. The semifinal beam-off. Who's got the edge?
Well, on balance beam, anything can happen. One fall and it'll take them out of the whole competition. But I would have to say Shannon Miller and Dominique Dawes. And the thing is, whoever does well on the beam, it will affect the final outcome of the competition.
And then the final rotation is on floor. Peter, last week in Portland, we saw 4 perfect 10s on the floor. So that could be a real showdown.
That's right, because all 4 of those 10s are competing on the beam to go back to the floor exercise for the finals. Svetlana Boginskaya, Amy Chow, Dominique Dawes, Shannon Miller, they all scored perfect 10s. One of the reasons is that those floor routines now have vocals in the music. As a result, it's going to be a unique format for floor exercise, probably the most exciting part of the competition.
And Peter will also have theatrical lighting for the final rotation on the floor. Here's the competition order meantime for this semi-final beam off. The gymnasts will perform in reverse order according to their finish in the first 6 rotations. So the leader, Amy Chow, has the advantage of competing last. Remember, all the gymnasts are equal now. The scores are back to 0. Let's head backstage now to Michelle Tafoya
with Amanda Borden, who unfortunately did not make the final 6. You were a long shot coming into the day, but what did or did not go particularly well for you?
Well, today went great. It was the preliminary day. I had a mistake on the balance beam, and that definitely cost me.
All right, who's left out there that's very strong on beam, and who do you like going into the floor?
Well, I don't have a favorite, but it's definitely going to be a tight competition. The balance beam is the event that makes or breaks who's going to be the winner, and so whoever stays on the beam will probably have a great chance at winning.
Svetlana Boginskaya has been so strong throughout this competition. Is it amazing for someone of your age to watch someone of her age still perform at that level?
It's definitely an inspiration. I know that I want to be able to compete when I'm 24 years old, so I watch her, and I know that I want to go back to the gym and just continue to train.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And we begin the women balance beam.
Up first on the beam now, Dominique Moceanu. The lights have dimmed. We have theatrical lighting now for this semi-final rotation. How difficult does that make it for the gymnasts?
Well, I think these athletes, because they've been performing on tour for the past few months, are a little bit more used to it. But anytime the light changes, you really have to change your focus here. And I think right now, fortunately, they are used to it, but it is a challenging element that you have to work with.
And sometimes with the lighting too, if it casts a shadow that they're not used to, it can throw them off in terms of the perception of whether they're on. But looks fine right there. Great back handspring, back layout sequence.
We talked about the atmosphere at this competition. Not as much pressure as maybe at some other events, but now heading into a semi-final round. First one up on the beam, I would think that this 15-year-old is feeling a little bit of pressure out there.
And Dominique's really kind of in between training now because she's preparing for the national championships. Her routine is kind of a combination of the rules she'll need for next year and yet the rules that are modified for this competition. So that adds a little bit more pressure also. There we have a little bobble there on their flip-flop quarter.
Dominique is a 10th grader. She studies through correspondence courses. She's nice landing. Also an author. Co-authored her autobiography. It was #7 on the New York Times bestseller list for a while.
Gymnastics and more in Borden.
She looks relieved.
Here's her first back handspring combination. It's a back handspring step out, back layout into another back layout. She gets a little bit off to the left, but look at her just pull her body back in. Sign of experience. Here's that round off back layout with her legs together. Dismount was a double tuck. Done very well. She sticks it just right. Pulls it around, get your legs on the floor. Little tiny hop, but good routine.
The judges give Moceanu a 9.80. That's the same beam score she had yesterday. So Moceanu set the pace, and up next,